What's good, YouTube? I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. We'll keep this one short, simple, and sweet. I was supposed to do some album reviews for a couple of albums and mixtapes that have dropped here recently. It was about like three or four that people asked me to do a review on, and then some of the albums are also mainstream albums as well. So I'll probably will start doing little mainstream album reviews as well, and not just underground stuff. But the the reason I'm not doing that is because the albums that I was sent are from art are were artists that I actually like and enjoy. Some of them I had heard of. Some of them obviously I didn't, and then some of them I actually actively listened to. But when I was going through them, man, it just kind of seemed like, to be honest with you, like I don't know, like it just seems like artists are getting kind of complacent and lazy. To be honest with you, I'll give an example of a mainstream one, so it doesn't seem like I'm poking and picking at people. But the new Future album that dropped, for example, I thought that was gonna be a pretty hard, mixtape. I thought it was gonna be pretty dope. Because it's called Mixtape Pluto, so I'm thinking it's gonna be mixtape type vibes. But I don't know, man. It was just seemed kind of lackluster and lazily done to me, in my opinion. It was just it wasn't a bad album, but like that was the most that I had gone through a Future album in particular because I do like Future and didn't like the songs. Like it just kind of seemed like I was listening to the same songs over and over again, just slightly different lyrics and slightly different beats. But it just seems like a lot of these artists are actually giving out throwaways and not really putting in the same level of work and consistency. So I just feel like artists are getting complacent. I feel like they've got their clout. They've done everything they needed and wanted to do in the music industry. Nobody's really making a huge wave or ripple for them to kind of, piggyback off of per se. And I don't know. It's just been a lazy year or lazy 2 years in my opinion. I think it's been about 2 years that it sounds like music has just kind of been lazy. Maybe I'm just so far out the loop and I've just been missing out on other artists, but people shoot me links to new artists, and it's just like it kind of it's all kind of becoming the same. Like you'll have those punching artists that they feel like it doesn't matter what the beat sounds like. If I rap fast enough and say a few bars and squeeze in as many bars in this song, it's going to be a hard song. Rapping fast does not equate to you rapping good or it being a good song. Then you've got the mumble rap stuff that has obviously changed over the years to kind of like this, zanned out, leaned out, melodic, trippy type sound, and it's still mumbling and whatnot. And it's cool. I like the vibe. I like the songs and whatnot, but they're kind of getting redundant. And then you've got stuff like the plug B and B stuff. Like it's literally all the same. All it is just a plug beat with just really fast hi hats. The hi hats have no break in them. That's it. Like it's getting very redundant. I'm kind of looking for something new, something different. And honestly, that's why I'm not even as active with music anymore, just because I'm getting a lot of reoccurrence of the same stuff. I feel like I get a little John over here. His tape blows up. He's hard, and he becomes like artist you know. And then here goes Lil this and Smoke this that and Big this, and then they doing the same thing. So it's like I might as well just still listen to Lil John because I can either listen to Lil John, the originator of this, or I can listen to his watered down clones. And that's kind of what it seems like that's happening. It's a lot of more watered down clones that are popping up and gaining popularity, or either the mainstream artists or the bigger artists that have already reached their clout level and their attention, and it's starting to get kind of lazy. Like, all right, well, I'm here. I don't really know what more to do. My fans are going to be satisfied with anything I give them. I'll give you another example. Playboy Cardi, like him putting that song out, All Red or whatever it is. Not a bad song. Beats cool, but the lyrics are lazy as hell. Like he ain't saying nothing. Like if you go back and listen to all those other songs that he dropped, in the last year or so, they're all lazy and just kind of sound like he's just saying stuff. There's some features that are decent that have been on other albums that I kind of like, but they all just sound lazy. Just like I don't know. I'm a little disappointed in the music industry right now. Like I want some good content, some good music to listen to, some stuff to talk about, but I just haven't been. It just hasn't been hitting the same way. Slime Cedo put out an album. Wasn't impressed with it. That was supposed to be one of the ones I was supposed to do a review on. Was not impressed. The Future one was another one I was supposed to do a review on. Wasn't impressed. I was supposed to do a Destroy Lonely one. Wasn't impressed. It just sounds like I'm all listening to the same stuff, the same people, and it's kind of like either they have grown to where they're going to be, or they've hit a plateau and just can't like hit their ceiling. They just can't break through the ceiling, and they need to figure out something. else to kind of move through that. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure anybody that listens to music and has watched my videos and watched me explain other artists and different things like that. If you go back and listen to these artists, whatever your favorite artist is in the underground, go back and listen to their newest stuff and listen to their old stuff and listen to everything in between, and then just really listen to it with an open mind and open heart, and you'll start to see that you're really listening to the same songs, the same stuff over and over again. It's just being regurgitated. Then go and pick another artist that is kind of within that genre and listen to his stuff, and you'll realize, oh, these are the same guys, these are the same people, they're saying the same lyrics. I'm popping my Zan with the lean, I'm fucking this bitch. Like it's all the same. It's all the same stuff. It'd be nice to get some type of variation, something to switch up a little bit. Somebody to come in and make a wave or a splash and just kind of start something different. I'm not saying the music is bad that is being put out right now. I'm just saying it's more so redundant. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's redundant. It's like it's 2014, and some of the songs that are coming out now and listening to, they still remind me of like 2015s to 16, 17s, like the those that year. Even mainstream artists with the same, like I'll give you an example of Future's album. All the Future's album, all the beats sound like your typical Metro Boomin, 808 Mafia, like Crash Dummies, like all those guys. They sound like they're typical 808. You got the regular hi hat, and then they have a little triplet, and then they do a little roll at the end, and then they have a basic 808 pattern where it's like three hits of the bass, and then they have a variation at the end of the bass on one of them. So you like it's like go back and let Future's album was the one that really kind of made me like be like, all right, this is getting kind of redundant. I've literally heard this because I was expecting that album to be like, okay, all right, another Future album. Let's see what this one's talking about. This should be pretty different, and it wasn't. It was literally almost listening to like the same songs over and over again. And another thing that's kind of going on in the music industry is like you'll have these artists. I'll use Future as an example. You have an artist like Future that's a big mainstream artist, and it's like they're giving out okay, decent, what you expect music, like your little babies, your Gunnas, and Lil Yachty's, and the Travis Scott. Like they're all just putting out their basic, same generic music that you would expect. But then they'll go and get a feature from a smaller artist, somebody like a Yeet, for example, or a Can, or uh, I don't a Destroy Lonely, like those artists, they'll or Ken Carson, they'll go and get one that is a smaller artist but has more like more steam and got a lot more bubbling going on with them, and then just kind of ride that way. So let's just say I'm Drake and I'm right here, our Future, and then you got all these other artists like your Ken Carsons, your Destroy Lonely's, or whoever else you can put in there is like right here. They're really close. But it's like me as the mainstream artist, I'm gonna keep reaching down here to get some clout from these people. So as they bump up, I bump up. They bump up, I bump up. So it's constantly like they're always ahead because they're just chasing the people below them clout. And it's like it for us to see a difference in music, it needs to go mainstream artists stealing clout, artists gaining clout. Mainstream artists stealing clout, artists gaining clout. And then it needs to go artists gaining clout, artists gaining clout, artists gaining clout, and we need to leave these artists out of the way because they're basically taking up uh, plays and views and like keeping the music on lock because they're the ones that are controlling it. It's kind of like if you were to look into stocks or something like that. Let's say you've got an Apple stock and you can only buy 100 Apple stock at all, but I have 80 of them. I have 80 Apple stock. It doesn't matter how much of the remaining 20 of the stock that is left that you buy, you'll never catch up to me because I always have more than you and I'm always a few steps ahead of you. I got to figure out, okay, I got 20%, 20 of these 100 Apple stocks, and this guy's got 80. I need to figure out a way to equal his 80 and then pass that, even if it's not within stocks. Even if I got to go over here instead of buying Apple stocks, I got to go and buy a bunch of Amazon stocks, or I got to go buy, I don't know, a bank stock over here to equate to that. That's I don't know. Hopefully, this all makes sense, but it's like the mainstream and the bigger artists are staying elevated and eating off of the smaller artists, and the smaller artists can't get ahead of the mainstream artists to really change music. You know what I mean? Like it's like the difference of going from a 90s rap, like a I don't know, maybe like a Ice Cube and NWA, that like that Tupac and Biggie, that era of rap, and then switching it up to the drill and gangster rap or the street hustling rap of the 2000s of like your Master P's and your Lil Wayne's, those types of artists, the Jeezys. Like those are two very different styles of rap, even though they're kind of rapping the same similar. You had the gangster rap in the 80s and the 90s with NWA in them, but then that totally changed, even though they're using the same kind of stuff and whatnot in the early 2000s. Like that's the type of big major change we need to see, because right now what's going on with music is like everybody's just like, okay, that's a little bit popular. Let me grab that and use that in my basket. Oh, that's popular. Let me grab that, use that in my basket. Oh, that's popular. Let me grab that, use that in my basket. Okay, cool. And I'm just gonna, just kind of throw it out there and just see what happens. We need some type of major change. It just seems like artists are getting kind of complacent and lazy right now, and I'm not sure why. It's just what I've noticed over the last couple projects, even the ones that I have done reviews for in the last, year or so, that I even felt like those were good albums, but not to where they could be. I just feel like there could be a better quality, a better um I don't know. It's just like it just seems like it's a bit lazy. From my era of when I was doing music from heavily from 2015 to like to 17 and 18, like the 20 to really more like 2013 to about the 2017, 2018 era, right in those like 5 or 6 years, that era there that hasn't changed from that era to what's going on now. We need a big major shift for music to kind of really explode and go in a different direction. Kind of like when artists would come out and then if they make a hit and just blow up, like just a one hit wonder type deal, blow up, and then they start, kind of change the game. Like when an artist like a Future came out or an artist like a Drake came out. Before there was a Drake, it was like Lil Wayne was the mainstream biggest artist, and then somebody like a Drake came out and totally changed that. He was very R&B, very soul, and very rap. Like he could do all of those, whereas a person like Lil Wayne was just strictly more so rap. So if you can see like that major change in just from that generation to this generation, that's kind of what I'm explaining. That's not happening. What's happening is people are piggybacking off of the old stuff and keep just adding to it and piggybacking off of it rather than expanding and doing something new and different and a little bit more creative. So basically, moral of the story is I'd like to see more creativity with the music. So like I want to see people doing a little bit more, maybe doing stuff outside of music to help, expand the music. Let's say I'll give you an example. ATL Smook, ATL Smook, he skates and he skates really well, but he also raps and he raps really well. I listen to his music, and then now that he's posting a lot more of his skating and stuff, I watch the skate videos. He needs to like incorporate the two. He should make like literally every time he makes a song, it should just have a skate montage of him skating in the background and like rapping a couple lyrics, almost like it's like a mini video, and then just put out that snippet with the new song and just go from there. Because then he can bridge the gap between two communities, and that will help him grow as an artist. So he bridged the gap of the skaters and the music people and bring them together, and literally could just use those two genres or those two groups. For example, I'm into cars. I could literally start making beats, putting beat videos out, and then have car edits in the background, put them together. Now I've brought the car community and the music community together into onto one page. Whereas right now, stuff like that's not happening. It just kind of seems like people are piggybacking and copying people and riding each other's way, putting music out there and being done with it. But hopefully, music kind of changes, for, starts going it towards a better direction as far as quality wise and content wise. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. It's just that I don't know. I feel like I've heard it all before, and I'd like to hear something different. So if you guys know of different artists, I don't care how big or small they are, send me some artists, man. I really want to hear some different stuff, some different music, some different types of genre. I'm open to. Not a huge rock fan, so if you send me stuff like that, don't be upset if I don't like it. It's things like R&B, your soul, like anything. I like your conscious rap. I'm cool with all of that. I just want to see some growth and some development in the music spectrum, uh, in a more positive way, because we've been getting that light's going crazy. We've been getting a lot of negativity with like the deaths, the drugs, the violence, things of that nature, and that turns me off from wanting to even hear and listen to music as much. So let's try to get a more positive outlook on music and more positive vibes within the music, and let's get a little bit more creative. That's really what I want to see is the creativity. But that's it, guys. I know it was a little bit longer than what I wanted. Most people have a pretty short attention span. We're about to hit 15 minutes, but hopefully you followed me to the end. Like all my videos, like this video, dislike it if you dislike it. Add a comment in the comment section of artists or other videos and things that you want to see me do. We'll hop back into FL Studio here soon, probably next week, and we'll kind of go from there. I appreciate all the love and support. Follow me on all social media, Milan Makes Beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. And that's it, guys. And we'll get up next week again. Peace.